Hey, very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. Dear Goon, how are we doing today?
I'm here, Ironhead. I'm here yet again, brother.
It's
Having
a
fun
loaded
here at the house. Here, I did venture out of the home last night. I went downtown and had dinner last night, but
good.
Not really easy, but it is what it is.
No, well, we're sending positive vibes your way and hoping for everything to get back in place here in very short order. Coming up rapidly on the football season again, high school football actually gets underway tomorrow night. All 5 Center County teams here in our area will be at home for the opening night of activities and festivities, and we have a handful of college football games coming up on Saturday. Kansas State will host Iowa State in the first game of the year. That'll be a noon kickoff on Saturday, and then of course preseason action will wrap up in the NFL this weekend. Tonight the Steelers will wrap things up at the Carolina Panthers. The Philadelphia Eagles will wrap things up at the New York Jets tomorrow night. And I don't know, it's kind of funny, Goon, all of a sudden as we get to the brink of the start of the NFL season, I'm actually looking up in ESPN, what is this, ESPN2, I guess, is are we sleeping on the Steelers? And I've seen a couple of articles, hey, maybe the Steelers are going to be for real. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, no, we think the Steelers could be legit. It's almost like they know there's a big fan base out there that is hoping against hope that they could be competitive and that the upcoming season actually does have some promise to it. We'll wait and see. I don't think I'm necessarily buying it. But I'd obviously love to see it. But it's just been interesting these last couple of days. All of a sudden, I'm seeing more articles saying, "Hey, maybe the Steelers could be a team that sneaks in there and is better than we're anticipating." Again, I would love to see it. I don't see it. I don't expect it. I think the Steelers are going to be very good defensively. I think they'll be okay offensively. And I still just think there's at least 4 or 5 teams that, to me, are pretty clearly ahead of where the Steelers are right now in the AFC.
It's your team, brother. That's a hell of a division they got to get. They got to get against Lamar and Joe Burrow twice a year, and Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old sensation. They got that thread. That's 6 games right there. So. But you're right. I mean, they know that it's the Cowboys and the Steelers and the 49ers have the biggest fan bases type of thing. So they know they're going to get some traction by talking about that. But, I mean, what do you feel? I mean, I still go back to that one little picture that I said, best 17 of those. Oh, no, here we go again. The Instagram thing that came out and had all 32 NFL teams, and the best case and the worst case of records was, 31 teams had 17-0 best record, and the worst record was the worst case was 0-17, and the Steelers was 9-8 for best case and worst case. So that's sort of where the Steelers are at. Is it's like become a little bit redundant in my opinion with how they're. Are they going to get 9-10 wins? Are they going to make a playoff? Are they going to win a playoff game type of thing? So, I mean, there's a lot of people who want them to do that well, but are they set up to do that well? I don't know. I mean, when Jeff comes back, we'll talk about it. But I talked about it Tuesday, and, that's the Aaron Rodgers situation when, it was 2 years ago that he tore his Achilles next week. So 2 weeks from now. So you figured he's going to be 2 years removed from that Achilles injury. And as I said on Tuesday, it's not uncommon for that injury to take 2 years to come back. So I think a lot of the what the Steelers need is Aaron Rodgers to play really, really, really well. How he matches up with his receivers and then Jeff, I'm going to go back and I said it on Tuesday. I was just talking about that the best case scenario, 17 of those Worst case scenario, 0-17, and the Steelers was 9-8, 9-8. So I just find that hilarious.
Yep.
But where I'm going to go when it comes to offense. I mean, their defense is a hell of a defense. They're going to be there no matter what. They hang their hat on that. But can they protect Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers is a guy who doesn't like to get hit. You see, every time he gets hit, he starts yelling more and more at those offensive linemen and this and that. And I'm going to tell you right now, no one feels worse than an offensive lineman when that guy gets hit, your quarterback gets hit with your guy. I don't need you getting up and yelling at me and sort of making a mockery of me and sort of embarrassing me, because they're gonna show it over and over and over again on the sports channels and stuff like that. So interested to see how they're going to protect him. And then the ultimate protection, as I say all the time, is the run game.
Yeah.
If they can get that run game going, he is a master of play action and deception with that ball.
Yeah, no question.
They got to get that rolling.
Yeah, that is probably the aside from Aaron Rodgers' health and how often he'll be available. To me, the biggest question going into the season is what are the Steelers able to muster with the run game in the upcoming season? And I just I guess best case scenario is that thing comes together and the offensive line is listen, I think it'll be an improved offensive line. I'm not sure I'm buying it's going to be significantly improved. And so I guess if you're drawing up the dream scenario here, the offensive line comes out and it does look like they've taken that next step, and they're at least a solid line. The other part of it to me, Goon, is how does Caleb Johnson come along? What does Jalen Warren look like in terms of a more featured back? And the other part of it to me, Goon, is how much do those backs get involved in the passing game? Again, I think this is the Aaron Rodgers effect. I mean, what he brings is what you're hoping he brings is that downfield accuracy. And the players this week have talked about it. There's been a couple of different players receivers that have talked about, like Rodgers, the closer we're getting to the season, the more he's dialed in and he is delivering the ball like pinpoint accuracy. But with this, their bread and butter, I think this season has to be the short passing game. And that with the, in my mind, that should help open up the running game. And then if you get both of those things clicking, then you're going to be able to take your shots here and there downfield. And Rodgers certainly with his arm, no matter what stage of the career he's in. I mean, the big play opportunities, I think, can be there if, and it's a big if, those other things get working. So, we're just going to have to see, I guess, how it comes together. It almost all has to come together perfectly to me for the Steelers to be a top 5 team in the AFC. And again, even if it comes together perfectly, I'm just not sure I see them come playoff time being there with the Chiefs and the Ravens. And again, I'm expecting the Chargers to kind of take that next step this year. Maybe the Broncos, maybe the Bengals if they can stay healthy. There's some other teams that could be in the mix there as well. So I don't know. I would love to be sitting here halfway through the season, Goon, and talking about, man, I can't believe the Steelers are actually looking this good, and that this is how big of a difference Aaron Rodgers is for the team. That's the hope. I think it is unlikely. I think the Steelers will be good. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be very similar to what they've been the last couple of years. Maybe Rodgers gets them another win or two, but even that, okay, you get to 11-6. I still at the end of the day, you're trying to get to the Super Bowl and win the thing. I don't see that in the cards for the Steelers this season. And if they don't get it this season, then again, it keeps coming back to got to try to find that franchise quarterback, which there's a lot of teams that want to find that franchise quarterback, but that's the next step here for the Steelers moving forward. Goon, I lost you on my, and you're not registering on my thing, so I don't know if you're coming through on the, normally if you're coming through, I'm at least getting the register here on my levels, and I'm not seeing it. So maybe we'll try to take a break, see if we can get that resolved. And again, may just be on my end, but I don't think so. Oh, I think there we got it.
Better?
Yep.
All right. Well, DK Metcalf, has he been hurt or has he been cleaned up? Has he practiced and all that stuff? I haven't heard a thing.
Oh yeah. No, he's been practicing.
A lot depends on how he's blending and meshing with Aaron Rodgers. But I do gotta say one thing. Who's the tight end from Georgia that they drafted 2 years ago? Is his name Washington or something like that?
Yeah, Darnell Washington.
Okay, well, he's probably one of the largest football players I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That Freiermuth is not a small person. They have huge offensive linemen. And then you're going to throw DK Metcalf, who's an absolute freak out there. They might have the largest team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, and you have Jonnu Smith coming over from the Dolphins. So, yeah, that's why I do think that the tight ends are going to play a big role for the Steelers this season. And yeah, I mean, Metcalf is, if the Steelers are going to be, what was it? Are we sleeping on the Steelers? If in fact the Steelers are going to sneak up on anybody this season, yeah, part of that equation is obviously DK Metcalf is going to have a huge year and have the type of the impact that the Steelers envisioned when they brought him in. And again, certainly that's possible. It's just, again, everything to me has to come together almost perfectly and mesh perfectly for the Steelers to be like a top 4 or 5 team in the AFC. But even then, again, I just don't know that there's enough there to, all things being equal. And again, you don't know injury-wise, obviously, what's going to happen with everybody else. But, I mean, just looking at the rosters as we're starting the season, I'm just not seeing the opportunity there or a clear pathway to the Super Bowl for the Steelers. But we've had plenty of teams that weren't projected to get to the Super Bowl at the start of the season. And, oh, hello there at the end of the year. They are, in fact, the team. So, the Steelers are holding out hope. I will say at least there is some semblance of hope of that occurring with the Steelers. There is no hope of that with the Pirates, and there is no hope of that the upcoming season for the Penguins. So if you're a Pittsburgh professional sports fan, the Steelers are kind of your last hope here heading into the season, heading into the year.
Star Wars, your only hope at Pittsburgh Steelers.
Get her done.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier, like, who was like the AFC team who was like would surprise, but I don't think it's going to be a surprise. But as much as I don't like him and you don't like him, Jim Harbaugh is a hell of a coach, and he knows what he's doing when he's building programs. I mean, I go back to when he built that San Francisco 49ers team. He built that Stanford team. He won a national title with the Michigan Wolverines. So he can coach. He knows what he's doing. And they have just been stockpiling, I think, weapons out there in L.A. Herbert is out there. He has the run game. He has the passing game. He has the run game. The defense has improved. he is a run-first type of coach. That's his big thing. I'm interested to see how they do watching. You mentioned that, how they're going to be a surprise team. And I think they will be the surprise team in the AFC. I think that, Jim needs a couple years to get his players in there. I know he's only in year 2. Year 3 might be the year. But they're going to be good. They're going to be much improved. And, with Herbert at quarterback, I mean, he's just going to be Justin Herbert out there. And that's going to be an all-pro quarterback, not going to be an MVP, but he's going to be in the all-pro game. He'll get elected in the Pro Bowl type of thing. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that because, here we go. That Hardball is going to be able to run the ball. And that's what that Chargers are going to be known to run the ball. But Justin Herbert he's taken that next step this year, in my opinion, to be an elite quarterback in the NFL. He's been in the NFL a couple 3, 4, 5, 6 years now. It's his time to shine. And you know what I say. The easiest thing for a pass game is a good run game. And Jim Harbaugh is going to have his guys out there running the football. And Herbert's going to be out there chucking the ball around like he normally does to his multiple different weapons. So that's my surprise team coming out of the AFC. The NFC, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are like, they could be, 13-4 or 5-12. I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't think they understand how good they could be or how bad they could be. I'm talking about the Cowboys now. I said the AFC is, the Chargers are my, dark horse coming in, and I'm looking at the Cowboys out of the NFC because you have to. You can't have that much talent that the Cowboys have and have the, what they have gone through the last couple of years, just been disappointing years here and there, losing records. They just have too many players out there. So can they put it all together this year and turn it into a good season? I mean, I know that they're in the Cowboys are in the NFC East with the Eagles and the really up and coming Redskins, and the Giants are going to be much improved too. So the NFC East is going to be a hell of a division, and I mean it scares me for the Eagles. I mean they're defending Super Bowl champions who are going to be fighting tooth and nail to win their division this year.
Well, here's the thing with the Cowboys, Goon, is they have become this will eat at the Cowboys, but they are the Cleveland Browns of the NFC. The Browns and the Cowboys are the same organization. They are dysfunctional as organizations, and they are both really talented. I mean, if the Browns ever are able to figure out the quarterback situation and can stay relatively healthy, I mean, they are as talented as anybody there. The Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, all included. Cowboys kind of same thing to me, Goon. Like they just they can't get out of their own way as an organization. And the problem with both teams, and again, I mean, could you drop a scenario where both win their divisions and go on and I guess, but realistically, I mean, do I think the Browns have much of a chance of finishing higher than third in the division? I don't, and not because I don't think there's enough talent there to do it. The Ravens know what they're doing. The Steelers historically know what they're doing, and I think the Bengals, again, if they can keep Burrow healthy and kind of keep things on an even keel, I think it's really hard to move up in that division, and certainly with the way the Commanders / Redskins and the Eagles are playing and the teams they have coming back, it's just really hard to make headway there. And I agree with you. I think the Giants may be one of the more improved teams in the NFL in the upcoming season. So I guess I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to either the Browns or the Cowboys. It's not that I don't think either are capable of having really good runs. It's just they're both in such tough divisions, and they just don't don't ever put it together.
So
not in the last couple of decades.
Are you a Netflix guy, Jeffrey?
What's that?
Are you a Netflix guy? Do you have Netflix?
No, I'm not really.
Okay. So they just came out with a thing about the Cowboys, about Jerry Jones and when they took the team over in the 90s. So in 1989, when he took the team and when he bought the team. So I'm watching it last night, and they show the progression of how hardcore Jimmy Johnson was as a coach. I mean, working them, cutting guys during games like a hardcore. But he got what he wanted. He got those Super Bowl teams. But Jerry was in the background wanting to be on the damn field. So Troy Aikman makes a comment. He goes, when they got rid of Jimmy Johnson and they bought Barry Switzer in, he goes, that first practice we went out there and all the coaches came out and Jerry was dressed as the coach. And he goes, that's when I knew things were changing. So
yeah,
that's just Jerry, how he is. I mean, he's always wanted to be that on-field guy. He's always wanted to be the general manager. He's never going to let go of that. And that's the greatest thing that ever happened to the Philadelphia Eagles. Trust me, as an Eagles fan, it's the greatest thing ever. So you keep doing what you're doing here, Mr. Jerry. I love him as an Eagles fan. I mean, he gets attention. He grabs attention for sure. And people love talking about it, just like they're talking about the Steelers on the TV right now, because they know they have a huge fan base. But if he wants to keep doing that, go right ahead, man. You keep going. You keep being Jerry. Keep it in the family. Do what you do. But the Giants super improved. You don't want to watch it, but Jackson Dart, who you said last year you wanted him on the Steelers, and the Steelers are yet again going to be looking next year for their next quarterback. He was there to take. You wanted to take Jackson Dart. You've watched him.
I would have been happy.
Yeah. You would have been happy. And then even if they had Rodgers and had Jackson Dart, give him that year or two. Like Aaron Rodgers went under the Brett Favre thing, which was a fiasco to begin with. But looking back on both of them, they're both drama queens. Looking and reading about them now. But like the Steelers should have drafted a Jackson Dart. They should have gotten a quarterback this year. I mean, they I don't know. You tell me. Did they give up on Kenny Pickett too quick?
I don't think they did. I think they saw, and I mean, like Kenny Pickett is not going to be an elite quarterback in the NFL, meaning like top half of the starters.
But he's a first rounder, though. You know what I mean? They drafted him first round,
right? Yeah, but I think if you draft him in the first round, like you're wanting to see a guy that's going to be a top 14 quarterback at least, and realizing that he's not that. I think it's I'm okay moving on. What is interesting now, Goon, is is Will Howard. I'm not sold one way or the other. Obviously, we haven't seen anything from Howard yet in terms of game action or any kind of meaningful snaps. So we have no idea. I like the fact that he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and he's coming in with the winning pedigree and all of that. But how his game translates to the NFL, we have no idea. But now the question is, the Steelers, again, seem to be, at least the mindset within the building is, hey, we're all in this year. And with that being the case, Mason Rudolph is clearly your backup right now for Aaron Rodgers. But the question is, Skylar Thompson has looked very good in the preseason. It's not that you're giving up on Will Howard, and it's not that they wouldn't keep him, on the practice team and have him around. But do you go into the season opener with Will Howard, who, again, you just haven't seen? They've seen, obviously, in practice, and I suspect they have some feel for, all right, yep, we think this guy might have the potential or might not have the potential to be the future of the franchise. But if is Will Howard on that opening day roster? I think that's a very legitimate question right now, and I don't think it's a clear-cut answer because, again, Skylar Thompson has acquitted himself very, very well in the preseason, and I know it's the preseason, but man, he's looked like, yeah, that guy belongs out there on an NFL field. We just don't know with Will Howard. Just haven't had the opportunity to see him. So I am curious to see.
How long is he out with the finger thing?
What's that?
How long is he going to be out with a broken finger?
Probably he should be getting back kind of that first week of the regular season.
If they want to keep the third and fourth quarterback, put Howard on the IR till week 8 type of thing. And then you have the other guy they could keep, and they could get a better feel for him in practice. I don't know. It's tough keeping 4 quarterbacks. I mean, you could have the 3 and then Will Howard, but if you put him on a practice squad, then anybody can pick him up. That's the only problem with putting him on the practice squad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of this gets handled.
I'm with you. I liked Howard. I think he was a great game manager for Ohio State. He did what he had to do. He was a Roethlisberger type of guy, in my opinion. He really, really reminded me of Ben Roethlisberger. He made the plays when he had to make the plays, and he was tough as hell. He was a team leader type of thing. He led on the field. I mean, he won a national title in his first year at Ohio State. I mean, it's pretty damn good stuff.
Yeah, I think his competitive makeup is what you want in a starting quarterback. The question is the skill set. For me, the question is that does his skill set translate to the NFL? I mean, I thought he was accurate at Ohio State. Now, again, there's one thing being accurate in college and being accurate at the NFL level. And again, unfortunately, we just didn't get to see him in the preseason, so you really just don't have any idea at this point as a fan as to how his game will translate to the NFL. But do I think there's at least a possibility that, yep, that's your future star, your rock at the position? Yeah, I mean, right now I think there's a chance of that. But how great of a chance is that, and what kind of an opportunity is he going to get to prove himself over the course of the next year or two? I think those are very intriguing questions right now if you're a Steelers fan, because the Steelers, I think they are legitimately all in terms of their mindset. I think the organization believes that, yes, with our investment in Aaron Rodgers and the other investments we've made, DK Metcalf and the trade with the Dolphins, that hey, we're kind of all in trying to win it this year. So I don't think you can afford to, all right, well, let's see what we have here with Will Howard. And obviously you're hoping the season plays out that you don't get into that spot. So I don't know that Will Howard will see the field this year for the Steelers, whether he's the a practice squad IR or third team quarterback, because I think the Steelers, if you're hoping Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and that Mason Rudolph, again, is very clear.
You never have to see him until next preseason. That's the hope.
Yeah, but the concern then is how do you figure out whether or not you have your quarterback of the future or not? And again, they'll have some feel internally. I mean, they obviously have been around enough. You get an idea. All right, yep, this could be a guy that could develop into that, or this is more of a journeyman quarterback that we're looking at, and we know we have to keep our eyes open for the next franchise quarterback here through the draft or even possibly a trade in the next year or two.
I did want to say the thing with Pickett I was bringing up was he's now on his third team, and he's been in the league, 4 years?
Yeah.
That gives me my answer of what kind of player he is. He's now had 3 organizations, and he's not made the starting roster. He was with the Eagles, so there's your answer.
Yeah, I think he can be a very serviceable backup, and maybe in the right spot.
Have a hell of a career as a backup.
Yeah, and again, he could get into the right spot where he's the starter, but I think if he's a starter, you're looking at a guy that's going to be in the bottom 10 of starters in the NFL, and that's just not what you need to get where the Steelers are wanting to go. And again, by the way, I think we talk about this every now and then, but do you know how good you have to be like the 32nd best quarterback in the NFL? Like I know it is so rare to find those guys that, like an Aaron Rodgers, that are just like truly elite special guys. And I think sometimes because of how much of a difference being elite makes, but the guys that are backups, and I'm talking about like your worst backup of the NFL, how good of a quarterback those guys are compared to like all of the quarterbacks in the world. Like you're talking about really special stuff, and we treat them like they're absolute bums. And listen, so yeah, that they are. I do think sometimes we're very
losing the Ironhead again. So sorry. Yeah, he's talking about the top 32 players in the NFL as a quarterback. So how hard that is to be. And we're sitting there, we're not dogging on Kenny Pickett whatsoever. We're talking about the Steelers, they need to find their starting quarterback. And they took a swing with Kenny Pickett 2-3 years ago. It didn't work out. They took a swing with Howard this year. So we shall see. But, I don't see, going forward how they are not. I don't see next year how they're not going after the first round quarterback, So they're the Kenny Pickett thing. But you're right, Ironhead. You got 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. It's not like this guy's chopped liver. It's like a guy who's like the 12th man on the NBA bench. You know how hard that is to be the top 300 players in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, in the NBA, and it just goes to show you how hard it is to make it in professional sports.
Yeah, no question about it. We'll take a break here. We are coming back with much more. It is our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead. We have meaningful football coming up this weekend. And, of course, we're 9 days away from the start of the Nittany Lions National Championship campaign. Coming right back.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Your first half champion State College Spikes host the 2025 MLB Draft League Championship game at Medler Field at Lebrano Park, Thursday, September 4th. Get your tickets now for just $10 a piece. Enjoy Dollar Dog Night with $1 hot dogs and Thirsty Thursday with $2 12-ounce drafts while supplies last. And the Spikes offer free admission to all students in partnership with Penn State SPA, the Student Programming Association. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon. Again, college football season gets underway Saturday. I think 5 or 6 games on the schedule. Kansas State hosting Iowa State will lead things off at 12 noon on this opening weekend. High school football season getting underway tomorrow night, and this is the final weekend of preseason action in the National Football League. And then we'll see how everything's actually going to unfold in the professional ranks. Goon, we've talked an awful lot this summer about the expectations, not just of Penn State football, and certainly they are sky high, but of Penn State athletics and what this upcoming school year could bring. Of course, classes will get underway on Monday at Penn State. And the Penn State soccer teams will both be in action tonight in their home openers. It'll be the season opener for the men against Stetson at 5 o'clock. And then the women will play their second game of the season. Penn State is now ranked 14th in the coaches' rankings after a hard-fought 3-2 loss at Duke a week ago. Penn State will have its home opener against ranked St. Louis. Off to a 1-0 start in the young season, and that'll be an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight at Jeffrey Field. I will say I'd keep an eye on that women's team. I know they lost that season opener at Duke, but they acquitted themselves very, very well. I think this is a team that as the season goes along can put some things together and will be right in the mix here at the end of the season. Yeah. But excited to get the school year underway. Penn State wrestling team finished up the World Championships for the under 20 freestyle ranks, and Penn State had 5 for 5 wrestlers for the United States that will bring home medals. Marcus Blaze winning gold yesterday at 61 kilos. Blaze had himself a pretty good tournament. He won 4 by tech falls, or technical superiority as they call it in freestyle, and then the other one, he the equivalent of stalling a guy out in a college match. It was disqualification on cautions for his other wins. So he dominated the field in winning at 61 kilos. He and PJ Duke bringing home gold to Happy Valley. Both are incoming freshmen here for the Nittany Lions. William Henkel, another incoming freshman, taking silver. And again, the Marisola twins becoming the first brothers to both medal at the Under-20 World Championships since Jimmy and Joe Carr back in 1973. Very good showing. All 5 of those wrestlers with 4 years of eligibility still remaining at Penn State. And, you know, it'll be interesting, Goon. We may, I guess there's a chance we won't see any of them. I think Marcus Blaze is pretty well penciled in at 133 as at least the expectation for this team in the upcoming season. The other 4 are going to have some work to do to get into the starting lineup, which is just just a unique situation. And again, PJ Duke may redshirt just to let things settle down a bit. Not so much that he can't crack that starting lineup, but as we keep talking about, Goon, it's just this wrestling room at Penn State just keeps getting better and better, and it's already historically the best wrestling room in the history of college wrestling. And again, I think it's going to be better this year than it's been at any point previous, which is truly just astounding what they are doing right now.
I need a comparison here, dude.
I don't know. We were just talking about that.
We're well past the wrestling world. We're actually in like the professional world, a college world, a high school world. I mean, it's almost getting like a high school dom, like St. Joe's Prep in Philadelphia, CB West and outside of Philadelphia, a couple like 10, 15, 20 years ago, how dominant they were. Like, this is getting to that point, man.
Yeah, the thing that's hard to I'm because I have spent some time thinking about it, and I don't know if somebody out there, by all means, help me out. What is really unique about the situation they're in right now, and again, work to be done. I'm not saying anything's a given in the upcoming season, but after a run of dominance, right, where they've now won 12 of the last 14 NCAA titles. So, already a dynasty that is very few comparisons just to that. But this particular run over the last 2 seasons and now this season, where you're taking a dynastic program, and now they are making it routine where they set scoring records year after year. Like, I can't think of I don't know. I mean, the 1979 Steelers were terrific. Were they measurably better than the 1975 or 76 or even 70? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to compare, I guess, in some ways. But, I mean, they were outstanding, obviously. I mean, a dynasty, unquestionably. But if Penn State, and it's an if at this point for sure, but if Penn State goes out and sets the scoring record for a 3rd straight year and does get 10 All-Americans, and again, neither of those are givens by any stretch, but if that occurs, then I don't know what you would compare this stretch to, Goon, because it would be 3 seasons in a row. Again, it's one thing to win 3 championships in a row, and that is remarkable and should not be taken for granted and should be recognized as an amazing accomplishment in and of itself. But to win 3 straight years where you are setting a new standard for your sport, and again, if they are able to get 10 All-Americans in the upcoming season, something that had only been achieved once in the entire history of the sport, and then your program does it in back-to-back seasons and becomes the 2nd and 3rd teams to do it, I don't know that it is comparable to anything we've seen.
Well, the other thing about the 10 All-Americans, Jeff, is it's not remotely going to be the same 10 guys. They're replacing guys.
Yeah, I mean there will be a large number of them that'll be the same, but yeah, it for sure there will be at least three different guys in there, and could be, I suppose, probably as many as five, depending on how some things shake out. But
crazy.
But what and the other thing, and listen, this is very subjective. I'm just telling you, I don't think you will find on any other championship team, and I think character and championship teams largely go together. I mean, I know there's some exceptions out there, and all right, these guys cheated their way to the top. I was just watching the debate over the Michigan team a couple of years ago and what their actual legacy should be. I don't know. What I will tell you is the character of the guys in that Penn State room. And just watching some of the interviews, I watched just about everything from the world championships here, the under-20 championships that I could. And the interviews with guys like PJ Duke and him talking about how it really hit him when the national anthem was playing, listening to Marcus Blaze talk about, he's still working to improve his game, and he has bigger plans. I mean, these guys are genuinely grateful for the opportunities that they have, but they have a big picture perspective. And they recognize, while they are putting a lot of work into this and they want the results, and they're working their tails off to get the results, that win or lose, these wrestling matches aren't what's going to define their life. Like that, they all see that there are bigger and better things coming down the pike. They all, will make impacts on society, above and beyond their competitive careers, and some of them, I think it'll be in coaching, and still in the sport. But, as you see with Cale Sanderson and Casey Cunningham and Cody Sanderson, I mean, the impact that they are making on the lives of young men that are then going out and impacting society. Yeah, I mean, the winning is really cool, and it's a great opportunity for Penn State, and a great selling point for the athletic department, and all of that. But what the impact really is the ripple effect on society. Like, these are guys that are going out and making very real, very significant contributions to society at large, because they just have a very clear vision. They are genuinely good people and trying to do genuinely good things. And I think that combination of, elite wrestling, the likes of which we really have not seen in this sport, what Cale Sanderson is doing. We've seen other dynasties for sure in wrestling, but we haven't seen the consistency of individual accomplishments, meaning individual national titles, year after year after year, the way this program has been producing it, in particular over the last decade or so, and combined with guys that are just genuinely good people, combined with now record-setting performances up and down the lineup, combined with the international success that the program is now seeing, where they're leading the United States to virtually unprecedented heights on the international scene, and then bringing that combination again off the mat back into that Penn State room. It's very special stuff, no doubt about it.
I mean, is it a wrestling thing that it seems to happen that much? I mean, you're going to give Iowa and Iowa State.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Oklahoma State and Iowa back in a couple, 3, 5, 6 decades ago. It just seems,
Yeah.
I know we're about halfway caught up to Oklahoma State, so that tells you how good Oklahoma State was back in the day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's crazy how good they were.
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I think part of it is I do think when you get a really good coach and a really good program that people just want to follow and be a part of that. But I don't know. I mean, you would think that's the same thing, and I guess to some degree it was with Nick Saban and Alabama football, and you go to Oklahoma softball's run. So I mean, I guess it probably, but I mean, we've seen these like 2-decade runs, not winning every year, but we've seen Oklahoma State, Iowa, now Penn State have again like 20 years where. Yeah, one program is winning like 15 or 16 of the titles, or at least well into the double digits over that time frame. I don't know that we see quite that in other sports, and I don't know. I don't know if it's just what Penn State has now. I mean, the culture here is something that is a big deal. I mean, and it is something that young kids and families talk about, that we want to be at the very highest level, and there's no question, not that you can't achieve the highest level for you individually elsewhere, but man, zero doubt that if you want that opportunity, you will get it at Penn State. And again, you just talk to the kids, past and present, about the room and how good you have to be just to be competing in that room, and how much it benefits. I mean, I just saw Jason Nolf within the last couple of weeks was talking about that. He's like, I mean, there's a lot of everybody wants to know the secret recipe and what's the sauce. And again, I think there's a lot of different things that do come into it, but a big part of it is, they just have the best wrestlers for you to go against, between the club wrestlers and all of the college kids, that it's you inevitably you have to get better when you're facing that type of competition day in and day out.
Put it like this. If I'm a 20-year-old sophomore or junior at Penn State, and in my third year in the offseason or in the season, I got to practice against Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter, are you going to get better? Absolutely. You have some of the best right there. You're going against every day, and they are out there to help you.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, man, just so you know, I know when you're pass setting, it's going to be a run or a pass. I know in your stance. I can tell you this. Your right hand is always low. Your left hand is low. You need to do a better punch. You're going to get better by leaps and bounds if you have to go against those that type of competition every day.
Yeah,
and that's what those guys are doing. I saw that article, not the article, but the interview with Knopf and Nickel and those guys, and they sort of, I think that Kassar was there, and it was sort of, and then they sort of laugh at like the amount of talent that's in there, like. And it changes, right? So if like Knopf's got an MMA fight, he's not going to be in the room for like 5 months, but he might be there 3 months later for a couple months. I mean, you might be. It's amazing the talent that they have walking in and out of those practices. And I mean, I would love to know how it's like. Does like Bo Nickel call in and like, hey, I'm going to be there January and February this year? Is that how it works, or does he just show up? I don't know. And then. You would know better than me. How does Kale, Cody, and those guys like figure out like, oh, let's get those guys going today on, we're going to match it. Do they have a pre-practice meeting as coaches and say who do they want matched up today?
No, to a large degree. I mean, they will occasionally, I'm sure, hey, let's, why don't you work out with so-and-so today? What is really interesting to me is largely that the kids are just on their own. It is oversimplifying it and to a large degree, but it is also, when Cal talks about it, and I know he gets kind of laughed at from others that don't follow the program when he says, it's the it's up to the kids. Like, how good do you want to be? It's what you put into it, the time you put into it, and at the end of the day, we'll give you the opportunity to develop as much as you want. But we're just here to help the kids to their goals. But it is sincerely what they do, and it really is up to the kids. Well, part of that is, hey, who are you going to? When you walk into the room, are you going to train with the kids that you're going to be able to beat up on day after day? You can do that, and that's your prerogative. Or are you going to go challenge yourself? And hey, the story that has always stuck with me, and there's many stories like this, but it just when Aaron Brooks was on the, I think this might have been his first national team. But Carter Starace went over as a training partner at that point. And Brooks told the story about he was watching Starace, and Starace was going over during the practices, and it was choosing world champions from other countries. Hey, do you want to go? Let's go for a little bit here. And like, he wanted to test himself against the best in the world. And he's seeking out those guys and saying, can I work with you for a little bit? And so it, to a large degree, and again, I'm sure there's days where they're like, all right, I want to sit down and work with this guy. And certainly, if there's one of the older guys that they're like, hey, I really think this guy's style, some of the shots that he has perfected would help one of our youngsters. Can you come in and work with this guy? Sure, that happens. But to a large degree, those guys go in the room and it's like, hey, who do you want to work out with today? Now, you might have 3 or 4 guys. Hey, I want to work out with Nick Lee. Nick Lee's one all right, let's, I'll work out with you today. I'll work out with you tomorrow, that type of thing. But what is neat about that room is those guys do want to challenge themselves and go up a weight and hey, let's see what you got. Hey, let me see what but it's not just about, hey, I'm challenging myself. It's also, hey, I want to learn a little bit. I saw what you did in that last match. How did you do that? What? Because I think maybe I could incorporate that into my game. And there are some things that some guys do that it just doesn't translate to other guys. And then there's other moves that it's like, no, boy, that translates very well. And so they'll work on specific things. And you can kind of see sometimes, especially early to mid-season, man, the team was clearly working this week on really working on the 2-on-1 into a half where, man, the team, because you see it up and down the lineup in a given tournament or a given dual meet. It's like, that you kind of know that's what they were working on as a point of emphasis in a given week or a given time span. But I think there's a lot of it that it's yeah, I want to challenge myself, but also, can you show me a little bit how it is you because, man, that looked really good, and I think it might translate to my game. And again, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and that's part of the whole process too is, yeah, all right, yeah, it is cool that you do that. It's amazing to watch, and yeah, I don't think that's going to be part of my normal arsenal anyway. It's just not something that I have a real comfort level with. Maybe it's something I can work on in the off season type of thing, but sometimes it's that, oh, you know what? Yeah, this feels good. I can add that to my arsenal pretty easily and quickly. And there's a lot of those exchanges that go on in that room. And by the way, it's not just teammates or older guys teaching the younger guys. The Kyle Snyders and the Kyle Dakes of the world will tell you that man, sometimes a PJ Duke comes in and he's been working on some of this. Hey, well, you learn something from the new kid that it's, hey, yeah, I've been having success with this. And and I will say, Kale, Casey, and Cody, from a technique standpoint, you're not going to find better coaches. I mean, just one little, hey, why don't you turn your wrist this way, or why don't you use these fingers? I mean, it is it's a fine art at the end of the day with a lot of that stuff.
Do they film practices, individual matches, like when they're out there? Because as a football player, you learn more from film. Like you're talking about how you right hand, left hand. Are they watching film and saying, "Hey, look at your hand right here. Get that up a little bit. You'd have had them." Like, do they do that or no?
They do some of that. They not as much as you might think, because again, these guys are really good at just seeing stuff as they're watching, and so they'll just during the practice go over, "Hey, I saw doing this. Maybe if you just grab here, or make the adjustment out to the side there, or make sure you're on the balls of your feet to settle in there." Just little things, but I wouldn't say that they do that they don't use film and don't do study, but I would not say it is a huge component of what Penn State does with its program, because a lot of it is just, man, let's go wrestle, see what feels right, and then again they can kind of in the process of that make those adjustments on the fly. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with much more. Another hour to go. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. Again, I am at Quaker Steak and Lube. Great place to come on down and watch the college football action on Saturday. Getting ready for some more Little League baseball action right now. Of course, the NFL preseason finales will be coming up here, and you can check out all of your favorite sports action right here at Quaker Steak and Lube while you enjoy some great food, great beverages, and the best service you will find here in the Valley of Happiness. We are coming right back with more on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Your first half champion, State College Spikes, host the 2025 MLB Draft League Championship game at Medler Field at Lebrano Park, Thursday, September 4th. Get your tickets now for just $10 a piece. Enjoy Dollar Dog Night with $1 hot dogs and Thirsty Thursday with $2 12-ounce drafts while supplies last. And the Spikes offer free admission to all students in partnership with Penn State SPA, the Student Programming Association. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College. The Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon as we gear up for football, Goon. I'm looking forward to meaningful games. Not exactly a who's who on the college football schedule Saturday, but it's college football. And so I'll be looking forward to checking out some of the action. And then things get underway in earnest a week from Saturday. Of course, Penn State will begin its season against Nevada in the 3:30 kickoff at the renovated Beaver Stadium, and the temporary stands that have gotten a lot of attention here
It's
heading
funny,
into
man.
the season. Yeah, they are going to be just fine. They will be safe. Everybody will be all right.
I don't know if people understand how code works in State College. Anybody who's ever tried to build anything in State College knows exactly what the code system here is at Penn State and State College. And it's absolutely horrendous because of how hardcore they are. They're not going to allow anything happen to anybody. But it is pretty funny. I mean, it does look a little imposing and scary to probably go up and sit on. But like, did you see the Maudie thing during pro day the other day? Yeah, Maudie went up there with he bought like 10 offensive linemen and defensive linemen.
Oh, I did see. I didn't realize Maudie.
Oh, we're all right. We're all big boys. Yeah. We're okay here. This and that. So I thought that was hilarious.
It was.
And they're doing a good job with it. And it's still going to be 106,000 people. That's crazy to me that they took all that whole thing down. It's still going to be that many people. So awesome. Yeah. But you talk about high school football. So we're going down to Carolina for the week next week. So we leave tomorrow morning. But tomorrow night, I'm going to miss it. But my high school, LaSalle, is playing Pittsburgh Central Catholic out in Pittsburgh. So that's number 2 in the state versus number 3 in the state playing in the opening game of the year. That's going to be a hell of a game, man.
Yeah, it is. I think Harrisburg.
Oh, there we are, baby, all alone again. So, little shout out to Hugh McGinnis out there for calling me out, making sure I'm okay with my back. So, yeah, so everybody's asking out there if anybody's wondering. I've herniated the disc in my back, and I got some low back issues and some leg pain and leg numbness. So I'm pretty much not too mobile right now, but I am what I am, and it is what it is. So, for everybody out there worrying, don't worry about it. So, Jeff, I was just updating everybody on why I'm sitting in my lounger at my house, and I keep on getting phone calls. I said, are you all right? Did you get shot? What's going on? I said, no, I'm getting shots. I'm getting shots to numb some pain. So it is what it is. I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. But, yeah, going down to Carolina next week, so looking forward to that. But the LaSalle Pittsburgh Central Catholic game. I mean, I don't know, but I've been reading about a little bit about it. But Central Catholic, their average is 6'5", 280 on their offensive line. Freaking high school guys, man.
Yeah.
Like 6'5", 280 is your average offensive lineman in a high school game?
Very, very different world that we're living in now. It's hard to get your head around, at least for me. How big, how strong, how fast some of these kids now at the high school level are. I was mentioning before the technical difficulty. State College will host Harrisburg in not quite as big of a matchup, but it's a pretty marquee matchup as well. That'll be in week 3. It's interesting the way the state high schedule works. 4 of their first 5 games are at home, and then obviously 4 of the last 5 will be on the road this season. But they've had each of the last 2 years, it was a home away. It was just home away, home away, home away the entire season, each of the last 2 years. And now this year it's kind of flipped quite a bit, as again, one away game through the first 5 weeks and then just one home game in the final 5 weeks. But I think no question the marquee matchup will be at Memorial Field. Yeah, we'll be at Memorial Field in week 3. The first Friday in September will be the big matchup between the Little Lions and the Cougars. And it'll be interesting. State High's got their run game should be very stout this year. They return 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. And it was a good offensive line a year ago. And then Dante Sheffy's back at State College, transferred back from Harrisburg. So he'll be the featured back this year. But they'll have a very good running game and should have a very good team overall. But they should be able to pile up some pretty impressive rushing statistics here in the upcoming season. And again, for Penn State, Goon, it's just getting through with, hopefully I'll knock on the wooden table down here, hopefully get through September with no injuries. And obviously you want to go into that Oregon game. Good. You ought to be able to do that with the non-conference schedule. To me, it's more about kind of how you're playing, not necessarily the results. The results, I think, are a given at this point through those first 3 games, but it's kind of building things up to where you feel good about what you're doing going into the Oregon game. And, again, really, Penn State will be favored in 11 of its 12 games and will be a substantial favorite in probably at least 9, at least the way it looks right now. And so it really is just about taking care of your business and kind of seeing the big picture, Goon. And that to me is where you're kind of counting on that veteran leadership, understanding that, these are give me wins, but it's you got to be out there kind of doing everything as perfectly as you can to kind of build up for those big opportunities. And then, the even bigger opportunities that hopefully await this program once the regular season ends, because that's where this team will be measured is what it does in that postseason. And, what ultimately it accomplishes or doesn't accomplish there.
One of the things I want to talk about is people are giving Penn State gruff about the schedule and stuff like that, and the non-conference schedule. And again, I go back to the Virginia Tech game was canceled, this and that. They had to switch the game for Nevada. I get it, but I don't want to hear anything from Ohio State or Michigan. You go back to Ohio State's non-conference last year, crap. 2 years ago when Michigan won a national title, their non-conference game was crap. Now they have Oklahoma, and now they have Texas on their schedule. It's a big game every 2 or 3 years. Other than that, they have the same bull crap non-conference games we do. So I don't want to hear that, well, Penn State's cooking the books with their schedule. They're not playing anybody, this and that. They're doing the same thing everybody else is. And like I said, until they fix it, you're not going – no one's going – I mean, again, would you – this is the argument you have all the time. The conversation you and I have constantly about that is why would you sign up to play a huge non-conference game anymore? Now they're going to make you do it. I hope that they make you do it because otherwise the first 4 weeks of the season are going to be horrible. You're not going to want to watch it. It's going to be blowout city every weekend.
Which, to be honest, is largely what we do have.
But you still have some
right
competitive.
now.
I mean, if no one's playing anybody, then you got crap everywhere.
Yeah. But there's a lot of non-competitive games. Yes, there are at least a handful of matchups that you're like, oh, I want to see how that one plays out in the non-conference schedule. But I mean, you go through the top 25 in the non-conference schedule, Goon, and again, you're getting maybe 5 matchups that you're at least interested in week in and week out, and you're getting about 10 to 12 that you're like, well, we already know the outcome and know the general margin. And every now and then, I mean, you'll get a shocking result, but not very often. not often enough to make it what I think it should be in terms of the competitive firepower that you'd like to see as a fan.
Yeah. And then, you're going to have your matchups during the week. And then you get into the conference schedules, you're going to have your matchups. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, it does stink to watch the first couple of weeks, but it's the preseason. We don't have preseason in college football, so it sort of is like the preseason in the NFL.
Let me ask you this, because we got into a little bit of a discussion on it. I hadn't really thought much about it, and I've been thinking about it a little bit since our morning show today. We had Dave Gertis on with the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, and just kind of in passing, we were talking about just tourism in the area, and then touched on the impact that the SMU game had last year on December, which is usually a pretty slow month for the local economy, and obviously that was a tremendous boost. Listen, Penn State is going to try to win every game, so let's just establish that. I'm just talking as a fan now. Last year we really wanted that home game. Like, I think the fans wanted the home game. It's like I almost would rather be 5 or 6 seed so we can have that home game than I would be even the 1 overall seed. I kind of think fans would rather still have that home game myself.
Absolutely.
Even I know the novelty maybe has worn off very slightly since you had it last year, but the other part of it is when you look at the results, as we talked about quite a bit last year, those top 4 teams did not fare very well in their first opportunity when the playoffs rolled around in those quarterfinal games. I'm not suggesting that Penn State would throw the Big Ten championship game or anything like that, but would you, again, I'm talking now as a fan, would you be okay with, you know what, if we lose the Big Ten championship game by a field goal to Ohio State after we already beat them in the regular season, and now we're going to be the 5 seed, and we get the home game? I don't know that that's necessarily the worst thing in the world, and I don't know that there's not a part of you that would not be rooting for that. Now, the other side of it is, if you can go undefeated and be one of the historically great teams, I mean, to go undefeated through the regular season, Big Ten championship game, and playoffs, right, that puts you, because of the new era we're in, that's unprecedented stuff. And so that would be cool. But this is why we've just got to get to the at least the 16-team format to where if you are a top seed, you're rewarded with a home game.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if what you have on TV at the Lube over there, but ESPNU has the Penn State SMU game on right now. Are you watching that?
We're not. That's not what's on.
It's on ESPNU. It's already the third quarter. But they just showed the crowd. And they panned around the crowd, and it was absolutely packed mayhem. And then they screamed back from that, and they had the parking lots and the surrounding area with the snow and the ice that we had. It was like a winter wonderland out there. So you're not going to believe this, but I hope you do believe it, and you can read it. So my prediction on Lions 24/7 is literally exactly what you just said. We go 12-0. We get rid of all the bugaboos. We beat Ohio State. We beat Oregon. We go 12-0. Damn it, we lost the Big Ten playoff game to Ohio State. Now we got to host a game at home, which is good. You're playing the Big Ten title. You're playing a home playoff game. You don't have a bye week because we saw how bad it was for the bye week last year. But you're literally saying the exact same thing that I wrote for the Lions 24/7. So then I did say we come back and we do win the national title after losing the Big Ten title game. That's my prediction. I won't be.
I do think one of the more intriguing storylines is that I do think there is, as we go into the season, as we sit here right now, just over a week out from the start of the season, I'm trying to think what I'd put the percentage chance on, but I think it is a reasonably good chance that Penn State and Ohio State will meet 3 times. Obviously, they'll meet once for sure in Columbus. I think most people right now are projecting that it will be Penn State and Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. And then, I think both of those teams have a very good chance of getting pretty far into the playoffs. And, certainly if they get to you would think they could meet up in the semifinal round. Or certainly the championship game if the seeds work out as such, and that would be interesting on a whole number of different fronts. I am almost positive. I think I'm positive that we have not had a situation where 2 teams have met 3 times in a single college football season. We've had few instances where they've met twice, but not been very many of those even. I don't even think the possibility, I know the possibility didn't exist for 3 meetings until very recently. So a chance there for history to be made on a bunch of different fronts for Penn State and Ohio State in the upcoming season. And
the only one I could think of would have been Alabama LSU a couple years ago. Did they play in the SEC title game, play in the regular season, and play in the national title game? I don't remember if that happened or not, but I know what you're saying, and it's a crazy thought to think that, and it's exactly what my prediction was, is that we actually faced them 3 times in 1 year. But by the way, when they just did the panoramic thing of the stadium.
Yep.
And we're talking about the temporary seats. And it's December 21st, 2025. This season, December 21st, 2025, when that game would be.
Yep.
And those things are pretty high up there. They're a lot higher than the last seats that were there because the press boxes, I don't know, man. Could you imagine how cold that's going to be up on top of that on that in those temporary stands if we have a home playoff game in late December? I mean, I don't know, but I go back to that. I mean, me and my wife were talking about it the other day. We had some friends in town who were asking about it. And I just said, I cannot believe how amazing that day was, the whole thing. Now, everybody else was freezing. I knew that I was going to go into a suite. So I had to get till like 11 o'clock. So I got there at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was icy. It was cold, this and that. Everybody's freezing. Putting layers on. I'm cooking. I was warm. I'm in front of a grill. And then I knew I was going to go into a suite, a nice warm suite. So I wasn't that cold, as I said. That wasn't a bad day to me, but I could not imagine being outside for 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. outside in that weather the way it was that day. But people did it, man. You got to give our fans a lot of credit because that was, I have to say, the most surreal tailgate Penn State day I've ever had. It was so awesome. It reminded me of that Snow Bowl which was in 1995 versus Michigan when we had the snowstorm that Wednesday. That was my final game at Penn State, so that's why I have a little, play a favor to that game a little bit. But that playoff game in the snow last year in December was just amazing. And I would, honest to God, I would sacrifice a Big Ten title to have a home playoff game. Even I'll play another Northern team, but I would rather play a Southern team, as everybody knows. We all want to play the Southern teams because, as I've told you many times, when Marco Rivera he lives in Dallas, he's calling me every night talking about SMU, and they weren't talking about football. They were talking about the weather every day. So that's not our advantage. We need to use that to our advantage. So anything we could do to get that, it would be fantastic. So I hope we get it again. But if we don't, that means it's a good thing that we're going to bye week, and then we go into a playoff game. So we shall see.
Yeah, I did a quick search here. It does not look like, apparently, like way back, according to, I don't even know where this is coming from, but Notre Dame, like in the 1800s, apparently Notre Dame and Michigan played 3 times during the 1887-88 school year. But it looks like in the modern, 2 teams have not, in major college football, have not met 3 times in a
with what I'm seeing
season.
The last couple of days, Notre Dame and Michigan both claimed that season as a national title game, though. I mean, can we talk about that, Jeff? Have you seen some of that stuff that these teams are doing? How can you lose a bowl game and then, like in 1970, I think it's Ohio State. They're claiming a national title when somebody, like I think Oklahoma, Texas, Notre Dame, I mean, I don't know who won it, but you lost your bowl game. They won. They were elected national champions. How can you consider yourself national champions? Because you went into the bowl game as the number 1 team? How many teams have done that?
Well, Auburn just laid claim to a bunch of national titles. And, but this is the problem with the sport is actually, I don't think any of those meant than the titles that the AP or the UPI handed out, Goon, because it was all based on opinion. And I can think that my team was the best, even if they lost a couple of games. We never had I mean, yes, do I think it's kind of silly to claim all these? But yeah, I mean, do I think Penn State could come out and claim, hey, 68, 69, 73, 94 for sure. That team actually did deserve the national title, and maybe those other ones did too. I'm not arguing one way or the other on that. But I mean, the 94 team, I watched Nebraska, I watched your team, and Penn State would have won that game. I have zero doubt about that if it had been played on the field. So, I mean, on one hand, I think it's silly that these programs are claiming all these titles. On the other hand, I think it's silly the way they decided the titles for all those years. And so I don't necessarily put any more or less credence on a school saying, we think we were national champions because we liked our school and we thought we were the best. I don't think that's actually any more ridiculous than a bunch of sports writers getting together and saying, we think this team was the best. Well, why? We do. Okay. That's the problem with the sport.
I can understand us in I can agree with us in 94 because one place did declare us national champions. That was the New York Times. Yeah. I could go with UCF, who was somebody that declared them national champions, if I'm correct, because you're the one who told me that we are actually in the NCAA record books as a national champion. So we literally can claim that. We don't. I don't know why, but I get it. It's not one of the big two. But, like, I don't get how how Auburn can go and, like, lose their bowl games and then still say, oh, well, so we're going to claim 85. That's a good analogy. We can claim 85 because we lost to Oklahoma in the national championship game, but we were number one going in. So we're going to be national champions. That's what they're saying. It's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, are we too proud to do it? Are we like the team who sits there and says, well, you know what, that's not what we do. That's not really our thing and stuff like that, you know. But, like, I mean, hell, what's Joe going to have 8 national titles then?
Yeah.
If we claim 6 more, he's got 8. Yeah.
Probably should have had at least 4 or 5, but anyways.
But you know who you blame in the situation is the NCAA. He's got to tell Auburn, like, pipe down. No, that's not the way it is. We had the record book, which you had showed me, remember, when you said that you guys actually 94 are national champions. In that book, is Auburn and all those national titles? I don't know.
No, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, is it hurting any? Nobody else is recognizing. If Auburn wants to say we were, I don't even know how many they're claiming. 9. We were 9-time national champions. Okay. I mean, is it harming anybody? Nobody else recognizes it. We see you as 2-time national champions. You want to say you won a bunch of other ones? Go have at it. I mean, it's just not going to be recognized outside of the fan bases. But if the fan bases want to recognize other teams, I don't really have a big problem with it. It just, like I said, it's silly. But honestly, the way college football decided its national championships for decades was silly in and of itself. So,
So we had our chance last year during that 94 reunion. They should have announced that Penn State is now going to claim 1994 as a national champion. We should have done it that day.
I agree. I actually kind of thought it might have happened. But all right, we're going to take a break here. Be back with a final segment on this Thursday afternoon. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show, right here on Sports Radio 98.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Your first half champion, State College Spikes, host the 2025 MLB Draft League Championship game at Medler Field at Lebrano Park, Thursday, September 4th. Get your tickets now for just $10 a piece. Enjoy Dollar Dog Night with $1 hot dogs and Thirsty Thursday with $2 12-ounce drafts while supplies last. And the Spikes offer free admission to all students in partnership with Penn State Spa, the Student Programming Association. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. It's the Goon and Ironhead show, and I'm at Quaker Steak Lube, where you can come on down and enjoy all of your favorite sports action and all of the TVs down here again. Great menu. I know they're world famous for their wings, and their wings are outstanding, but man, they have a very large, extensive menu, and there is something for everybody here at Quaker Steak and Lube. A couple of other things I wanted to touch on today. Goon, it is interesting. Bill Prevula, who, of course, famously left Penn State ahead of the playoffs last year. The transfer portal is, and now he's locked up in a quarterback battle with Sam Horn out at Missouri, and I guess both quarterbacks are going to play in the season opener, so that is a battle that is not yet finished, and it'll be interesting to see. Goon, I'm getting the feeling that that may be, they may go with a 2-quarterback system there at Missouri. I know they're saying they're going to let this play out and then figure out the starter here early in the season, but if they both play well, it'll be interesting to see. But the thought was, right when he left, Goon, is he's going to go somewhere and start. Like, that's the reason he's leaving. He wants to be the starting quarterback. Now, I think he's going to get more playing time at Missouri than he would have, at least early. Again, we'll see if Sam Horn ends up beating him out. This move may really end up backfiring on Prevula, and I'm not saying that with any glee. I don't, I hope everything works out for him the way he wants it to. I guess my point is, with the transfer portal, like, people think, all right, well, these kids can move and then they can put themselves in a more advantageous situation. You don't know that. You don't know how things are going to play out. Obviously, there's personal injuries and things that can happen, but yeah, these other schools, they're not just bringing in a kid and saying, all right, our problem is solved, and then we're not going to worry about trying to find anybody else. Depth is crucial at all of these schools, and competition is crucial at all of these schools. I don't have a problem with the transfer portal. Again, I think things will get tightened up as we move forward, just because contractually they're going to have to get it figured out a way to hold kids and their agents these days more accountable to the school that they are leaving from, because it's a two-way conflict, and I think again that will get resolved in the coming year or two, but it's just not always greener on the other side.
Yeah, and the other thing about Perbula is that it's pretty well known that he got a pretty good paycheck from Missouri to go to Missouri. So now this is what I've been saying for a long time now, is that's a locker room issue right there, because this kid gets bought in as the golden boy, paying him a couple $1 million. They're saying $1 million, but I don't know what the hell it is. Who the hell? Yeah. Everybody just throws freaking numbers out there. Oh, he got paid $10 million. I mean, is it true? Who knows? But he's in the locker room then. People know, because it was known that he did get a good paycheck to go to Missouri. And here he is in a battle with a quarterback who's probably not getting paid even remotely as close as to what he's getting right there. That might turn into a locker room issue. I have always said that. It's like, I've been in NFL locker rooms, and I know that guys know what others make, and it's like, you're not making that much money, and you got guys making a ton of money, and they aren't pulling their own weight. That is a whole other distraction waiting to happen right there. So, I mean, with Bo, it's okay. It is what it is, but it just hurts me that he left here because he didn't want to be part of a 2-quarterback system. Now with, here at Aller, he's not going to be he's not going to get the same amount of time, but he had to leave here. But the reason he had to leave here was one, it was James Franklin's rule was once you enter the portal, you're off the team. That's fine. But the way the portal is set up, that he was forced to make that decision while you and still a dozen teams were playing. And that sucks. Because personally, the way that Bo played for us last year, specifically at Wisconsin, coming back, having a big win, let's just say that Notre Dame game last year, Drew didn't light the world on fire at quarterback that game, and he threw a very, very late pick. I don't know if they may have gone to Perbula that game. What do you think, Jeff? Do you think that James may have said, hey, Bo, let's get a couple snaps out there, change the game up, change the game up a little bit. So by that stupid freaking transfer rule, the portal rule, how do you have to be in it before, there's still a dozen teams playing, but these guys are making decisions to leave the teams. Did that hurt State in that game?
It certainly hurt from not having that as an option. Whether or not they were going to go to that option, I guess we'll never know definitively. It would seem to me, Goon, like probably at some point in there, just to switch it up and give the Notre Dame defense something else to concern itself with, and maybe just let Aller, hey, can we talk through a little bit what we're seeing, what So I think it's likely, it's certainly possible, and I would probably argue likely that would have happened had Perbula still been on the roster. That being said, moving forward, Goon, still don't know who the backup this year is for Penn State. James Franklin says he's close to naming the number 2 guy, but not ready to quite pull the trigger on that yet. And listen, I think both Smolik and Grunkmeyer have. I think there's reason, even if Aller does go down, and obviously that's kind of worst case scenario for Penn State. You don't want your starting quarterback who is on watch list for every award that a quarterback can be up for. You don't want him going down, but I really do think, Goon, with each of those two guys, that even if the worst case scenario plays out here, I don't think it would be panic time for Penn State. Now, would it be a significant adjustment, and would it lower nationally, I think, the expectations? Yeah. But do I think Penn State would be out of the equation? Now, listen, part of it is the schedule. They play even in the conference. It's not an overwhelming schedule. I also think both of these guys, while we don't know what they can do in the fire of, a big-time game, big-time moment, I think both have a skill set that is very promising as to what they can bring to the table here for that Penn State offense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the second quarterback's always a big thing, but with Aller, I mean, do you remember a guy who's got this much preseason love? I mean, Kerry did not get that 90 and 94 because he was like he had a great 93 end of the season. He didn't have a great 94. Yeah. I mean, going into 94, he wasn't on those Heisman and watch lists and all that stuff, but he ended up winning them all.
Yeah.
But Aller, I mean, is he as higher ranked going into a season quarterback as you remember here? Blackledge would probably be the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking All-American, all that. McSorley was. Yeah. I don't think McSorley ever had the All-American accolades. He had they had the name, and he had won a lot of games. That stuff. Clifford, no. Yeah. Michael Robinson, Darryl Clark, none of that stuff. So it's going in, but
yeah,
I see our second team quarterback playing a bunch this year. One, because we're going to be winning games bigger, I think, but I also think that I think that James likes getting a little mix up, a little change up in there. I think that James would have liked to have a much more running quarterback than Drew Aller, but Drew has that ability, but he's much better as a drop back guy. So I think that they go with that. But I know James as a coach enjoys a good running quarterback. So I think we'll have some guys jumping in. We'll have guys, but I don't know who it is. We don't know exactly who that's going to be. But imagine being a second-team quarterback and knowing you have a third-team guy as James Franklin and saying, you know what, let's put this guy out there. Let's run his ass out there. Let's run him and see what they got, because if he does, God forbid, does get injured, you still have another good backup.
Yeah, and that's why I do think that non-conference schedule, as maligned as it is, and listen, it's not a great schedule. I mean, there's nobody arguing that, hey, come on, Penn State's really testing itself. I do think one of the benefits, potentially, hopefully, for the team is, as we've talked about, building depth across the board with playing experience in those games, so that when inevitably you do get some injuries over the course of the season, or when you need to get some different guys in there to get through the postseason schedule, they have that experience to fall back on. You have that experience to coach from, teach from. Hey, this is what you didn't see when you were in there against Nevada. Now and the adjustments you need to make when you're in this big game here against Iowa on the road, or Nebraska late in the season, whatever it might be. So quarterback in particular, Goon, right? You're hoping these guys get basically a game and a half of experience over the non-conference schedule to get themselves comfortable, get themselves confident, and feeling like, you know what, if needed, I'm ready to go, and my teammates are ready to go with me out there. I mean, the ideal scenario to me, Goon, is that you get to halftime with the game in hand in those first three. You put your starters out there, except for your quarterback, for that first offensive series of the third quarter.
Look at you.
And then after scoring another touchdown, then you get the other the starters out of there.
Absolutely. That's the right way to do it right there, because you want the one offensive line and the one receivers in there with the backup quarterback. Just give him a series.
Yes, just to get some comfort.
That's a great analogy, Jeff, because I'm a firm, big-time believer in that. Because I hate when they put a backup quarterback in there, but they put the backup offensive line in there and the backup receivers, and it's like, oh, he's not doing anything. It's like, well, there's all the second-team guys in there going against the starting defense. So
right,
I can understand why there's a struggle, but give the guy, give him a couple, give him at least a series with the starters out there versus their starting defense and see how he is. I am a huge proponent of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you have to deal with the hand that has been dealt to you, and you have the non-conference schedule you do. So I think you try to play up the potential benefits for that. Now, part of it is, again, you have to have a team that is good enough and experienced enough, understands the situation enough that, hey, it is important that we go out here and dominate in the first half, that we not, part of not taking these games for granted is putting it away early so that you have the opportunity to build that depth, get some rest for your starters, keep their legs fresh and all of that. But again, I think take advantage of that. That is the potential upside of playing that schedule is, listen, you can get some, I think, then still meaningful snaps and experience for guys that have not been out there. And again, quarterback in particular, it's just different when you're in an actual game situation, and regardless of the opponent, having to, manage everything that comes with that. And like everything, it just the anything in life, the more times you do something, the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get doing it. And I just think you're trying to get your entire team, but certainly the backup quarterback, whoever that is. And listen, I have no insight. I guess I'm kind of assuming it's going to be Grunk at the end of the day, and I could be completely wrong on that. It's just it feels like he's had an edge coming in, and just from everybody I've talked to, and it's not that Smola can't throw the ball, but man, Grunk, it sounds like just delivers a heck of a football. Knows how to whip it around. So regardless, I'm not trying to handicap that race. The backup will be named, and that's who it'll be. But I think you do want to get that guy as comfortable as you possibly can with game situations going into that Oregon game, just in case. Again, you're always hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. And if that first play, your guy, Drew Aller, goes down, you got to still play that game, and it's still going to be a very important game. And so I do think those first three games are really big in terms of getting some of these younger guys out there and letting them get some meaningful experience, including the quarterback, because having backups across the board, but your quarterback, have some confidence and feel comfortable if and when called upon. I just think with, as we keep talking about, with how long the college football season is, if you make the playoffs, you've got to do everything you can to build up that depth and get those guys comfortable and confident that if they need to go in there in those big spots, I'm ready to go. I've been here before, maybe not against Ohio State and Columbus, but I've been here before, and I trust now that I know what to do in game situations. So in that regard, I do think these first three games are really big and are really important for Penn State, even though they are, I think, foregone conclusions in terms of the outcome of those contests.
I know you've heard me say it personally in the past about, like, when people ask you about a game as a player, and I would always be like, you know what? I was so afraid and so nervous going into my first games and this and that I was like, it was like nervous. Like, you're on the sideline. You're a second team offensive line. You get out there. When I played, my freshman year, my redshirt freshman year, our first game we went out there. I was nervous as hell.
Yeah,
nervous as hell. And then you sit there and you realize you're playing the game, and you're getting the calls. And you're so well coached. You're and all of that. You've seen everything. You've heard me say it before. It's slow motion. It just felt like slow motion the first times that I got out there. So you want to get out there, get these backup kids understanding that it's just another game. It's just game. It's actually a lot slower than you think it's going to be. I know it looks faster on television, and it is faster on television, but you're so tuned in and you're so geared up that it is slow motion. So the sooner you get your backups out there to realize, okay, I'm here. I can do this. I am actually a good Division I football player. And get that confidence build up, especially a quarterback, hell yeah. The sooner you can do that, the better.
Yeah. So, who the backup quarterback is a big deal. I am also just really curious, Goon, to see who the first running back into these games, not named Nicholas Singleton or Katron Allen, is, because they've got three really good options behind those two. And again, I don't think you necessarily have to have a clear-cut number three. You may see some mixing and matching, but I am curious to see who the first guy out there in that backfield is when it's not Singleton or Allen.
I'm watching this, like I say, the SMU game was on television, on my television in my house, and dude, those guys are good, man. I mean, that whole offensive line is back. Those two running backs are back. I'm beyond jacked up for this game next week right now, and I'm like, holy crap! Can we just forget? Let's get to Oregon now. Let's get this going, dude. I'm watching this game. I'm getting all wound up. I mean, I don't know how good SMU was. I mean, these guys are running through tackles like it's nobody's business right here, right now. And you're right. Looking forward to the future. Who is that third team running back that comes running on that field late in that? Well, to start the third quarter out there next week. So we shall see, brother.
We'll talk a little bit more next week with Booch about some of the things that we'll be looking for in those first few games from the Penn State perspective, above and beyond the blowout victories that we are anticipating. Goon, we hope you continue well on your road to recovery. Have a great week next week, and we will talk to you when you get back. Looking forward to it.
See you guys. And take care, man. Thank you.
In the meantime, Booch and I will be back here on Tuesday with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Until then, be good and be safe.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Your first half champion State College Spikes host the 2025 MLB Draft League Championship game at Medler Field at Lebrano Park, Thursday, September 4th. Get your tickets now for just $10 a piece. Enjoy Dollar Dog Night with $1 hot dogs and Thirsty Thursday with $2 12-ounce drafts while supplies last. And the Spikes offer free admission to all students in partnership with Penn State Spa, the Student Programming Association. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.